Today on episode 222 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, our NCAA Tournament preview, media recommendations, and the TCF top three of the upset draft. Let's roll. Hello and welcome back to Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Today is episode 222. Make sure to find us on X at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram. Give those pages a like as well. For all of our content in video form, we are on YouTube. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans. Hit that red subscribe button. Wherever you get your podcasts, we are there as well. Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get them, we're there. So subscribe, rate, and review 5 stars wherever you can. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You can find me on X at BoomyTCF. And, of course, the gentleman that I'm joined with tonight at ZLiliaTCF. Maddie is not with us. We have been a sick boy podcast here about the last 2 weeks. Zach caught something. What'd you have? The strep throat. I got the stomach flu. Maddie's not doing well. So we're just it's going through the podcast.
Sick. He's all right. He's sick with the flu.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Everybody's just kind of down bad right now.
Yeah, it's how the world's been going the last few weeks.
Exactly.
Weather change has just been nasty.
Dude, it was 75 the other day, and yesterday it was 32. So explains why everybody's got the sniffles and everybody's sick. So,
but. Spring is it here?
Yes. It was cold today, but it was still 60.
Yeah, it was windy. The wind is just awful this time of year. I don't know what it is, what happens in the universe or whatever. Mother Nature's pissed off or something, but it's always windy this time of year.
Hey, listen, that's for guys a lot smarter than me and you to figure out why it's windy. That's not for us to
we don't care right now, but in the next few weeks when we start golfing more, it's going to be annoying.
Exactly. So with all that being said, kind of leads us right into my sinker. So we'll get into sinkers and floaters. And my sinker is the stomach flu. I won't get into the exact, specifics of the stomach flu, but it hit my house starting Wednesday night. My son actually had it first. So
Let's just say Boomy had a catastrophe.
Yeah, well, that's one way to put it. So Roman had it Thursday, Friday. I had it Friday night, Saturday. Then the wife started feeling bad Sunday morning. We're just now, I think last night was probably the last bad night. So it was 5 days straight of just not leaving the house, not being able to do.
He told me tonight that he needs to maybe air out the house a little bit.
Yeah, it smells like 3 people have been sick in it. So we got some candles ripping right now. So, but on the positive side, I lost like 6 pounds. So
there you go. If you ever wanted to lose weight, a stomach flu is a good way to start with it.
Yeah. And hopefully, at least it's out of the way now. NCAA Tournament, opening day coming up here. Hopefully all the bad stuff. But, dude, I'm telling you, my team stopped playing about a month ago, actually exactly a month ago. And I feel like I have not been healthy ever since. I had pink eye in that stretch. I've had another just rundown cold, and then I get the stomach flu. So 3 different.
Your body goes into this. It's not going to get sick during basketball. You're done with it. Now you're going to get sick.
Exactly, and it is not been a great month.
11-month-old child. So
yeah, well, and him being in the daycare and me being around 300, children all day at my job, we're just bound to just track germs into this house.
My sinker is also about me being sick, but it's the way that they still have to test you for strep throat. We are in 2024. We have all this medical miracles and stuff, ways of doing things, and we still have to stick that little cotton thing down your throat to get the strep throat. We can't figure this out any other way. That's awful.
Yeah, similarly when I got the cold or flu or whatever I had a couple of weeks back, I had to do a COVID test, right, just to make sure, and I was negative, but still, I mean, it's been 4 years. Actually, it feels like exactly 4 years ago this week was when we got sent home, and we still haven't got any advance. We got to shove that stick as far up
Well,
and
that's what
twist it
happened. I got
around.
tested for both within like 30 seconds of each other.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, my eyes are watering, and like they stuck the one down your throat to get the strep, then up your nose to
You're
get the
coughing.
flu. I'm just like, oh my goodness. I told
Yeah,
the lady, I'm like, I'm sorry, the strep throat one is not going to go well. I'm
yeah,
gonna gag, and it was not good.
yeah. I mean, that's just expected, though. I think they
You know what I
know it's
mean?
coming.
How are we still at the point where we can't figure out if I have strep throat by like, I don't know. I don't know
Spit.
how else you would do it.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. We've come so far in modern medicine, but we're still sticking wooden sticks into people's
Yeah, they
holes in
use
their
the,
face.
what are they called? Tongue depressors. That's
Yeah.
not gonna. I can't do that either.
Nope. I'm with you. I'm with you, man. We got to do something about that. Medical field, figure it out. All right, we can do better. I promise. My floater is completely unrelated to anything we've talked about, and that's running backs. Running backs kind of. I think that maybe that Zoom call they had, right, about how they're being mistreated. It was a good first week of free agency for running backs.
Yeah, there's a lot of running backs out there this offseason. Bears get DeAndre Swift, which I kind of like a lot. And yeah, a lot of running backs got paid. You had a running back play for you, and then also just went to the Vikings. It was crazy there for the first few days.
It's like it was like a game of musical chairs for running backs, right?
Yeah, Packers signed Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, Jacobs goes to Green Bay, then they release Aaron Jones, and he goes to Minnesota. Then Alexander Madison goes. It was kind of a three-way, little triangle there, because Alexander Madison then signed with Vegas, and then like you said, DeAndre Swift, Saquon. I mean, all these running backs. I mean, yeah, exactly. It was a big week for running backs.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of different running backs on different teams.
Yeah, it's going to be those first, like that opening weekend. We'll be like, oh, that's right, that guy signed with that team.
Yeah, like the Bears got some great players. But my floater
is a stretch.
Well, one, it was great. My floater is Sammy Sosa being back in Chicago. That was awesome to see. I don't know who the reporter was. It just straight up was just like, so you're admitting you did do steroids? And Sammy Sosa was like, I cannot believe you'd ask me that question.
Yeah.
Which is a great way to get out of answering the question. But it was good for him to be back in Chicago. It seems like he wants to be back at Wrigley Field. Say what you want about the guy. He was a superhero in that town for a few years.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, him and Mark McGwire saved baseball there for a couple seasons. And whether, you're an old head and don't like, the Sammy Sosa steroid stuff, it's like everybody was on steroids. It's not,
Mark McGwire works for the Cubs now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, David Ortiz works for Fox. Alex Rodriguez, it works for, I think, Fox or MLB Network. Like
just
all
because
these
the Hall of Fame is being dumb and not allowing these guys in the Hall of Fame doesn't mean they shouldn't be allowed back to at least Wrigley Field.
Yeah, I completely agree. It does sound like things are heading in the right direction, at least.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope he wasn't just saying that just to say it, but hopefully that everything's going back with the Cubs and Sammy Sosa. Like I said, Sammy Sosa deserves his day at Wrigley Field.
I agree. I completely agree. Hopefully we'll get that sooner rather than later.
Awesome.
That's a great segue into the TCF Sports Minute. We talked about it a little bit with the NFL, so we'll get started off with the Bears. Trade Justin Fields for essentially nothing to Pittsburgh.
What they did for Justin Fields is for the future, players will know if they treated him well. You know what I mean? They let him in a spot where in a few years,
You're not running a charity, though.
I understand that, but that makes you look good. You weren't going to get much more for him anyways.
It sounds like they were. They had two other deals in place.
Dude, you got Keenan Allen for what, a third rounder, fourth rounder? Like,
Yeah.
NFL trades don't work that way. And just because, I mean, they could potentially get a fourth rounder out of this if he plays 51% of the whatever the plays for the Steelers.
Yeah.
I'm just like, they did him right. He gets to go to a spot where in a few years, even maybe this year, he could start over Russell Wilson, and he gets to move on. The Bears move on, and it was always going to be Caleb Williams. I wanted Justin Fields to stay. For a little while, but then you just kind of look at it, and it's like, I just think that like Caleb Williams is a quarterback you have to take because it's talent that is not found a lot in the NFL. And apparently, I mean, it's all off of tape and stuff like that. He's never actually played an NFL game, but I don't know. I think you had to make the trade. You come out of it looking good, which I know that it kind of sounds who cares, but whatever. I mean, maybe a free agent down the line will look at that. Justin Fields gets to move on. The Bears move on, and then they get Keenan Allen, which could Caleb Williams be going to a better spot?
I mean, they're definitely setting him up in a good spot, right? I mean, DJ Moore. And here's the thing: as an outsider looking in, like DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are good wide receivers. Are they in the prime of their career? Hard to say. So, right, Keenan Allen's 31 or 32. DJ Moore's, I want to say 30. But like for a kid coming into the NFL, you want him to have those wide receivers say, hey, listen, this is how I want the ball throw. It's not two knucklehead 22-year-olds trying to figure out the NFL. At least he'll have that guidance, from a veteran, right? Is it going to work perfectly all the time? Probably not, right? But to have that veteran leadership to say, hey, this is the way that this goes, or this is the way, you should do this from what we've seen in the NFL for the last, 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it is. And I'll go through these moves here. It's been a big free agency week. Extending Jalen Johnson. I think we might have talked about that last week. But like you said, trade for Keenan Allen, this year's 4th round draft pick. Signed Kevin Byard from the Eagles, 2 years, $15 million. Signed DeAndre Swift, 3 years, $24 million. Signed Gerald Everett, 2 years, $12 million. Signed a trade for offensive lineman Ryan Bates, gave up a 5th rounder. Signed Jonathan Owens from the Packers, 2 years, $4.75 million. That's a really good deal. Signed Coleman Shelton from the Rams, 1 year, $3 million. Re-signed Dante Pettis. Signed Matt Pryor. They did sign Brett Rippon. I did see that. But yeah, I mean, just going down the list.
They did that before they traded Justin Fields, so that was quite confusing for a little bit. But then,
so the thing that I'm seeing in a lot of these moves is that you're bringing in veteran guys to fill in gaps that, like you said, they've got a lot. You said it last week. They have a lot of holes to fill, and you got to do that through free agency, and that's what they did. And it looks like from a lot of these deals, nothing is super long term, and they're pretty low. I mean, Gerald Everett is probably past his prime, but the fact is, you're not paying a ton of money for him, right? You're not going to be
leaders in the locker room. It's veteran players.
Exactly. 2 years, $6 million a year for a guy who's going to be your tight end too. That's not that bad, and you're not hamstrung to a guy for 4 or 5 years. So,
and I understand maybe Justin Fields didn't have the greatest team around him, but last year, the last 7 games, he had his opportunity to make the playoffs and play well. I've never seen him actually go down the field and win a game on a game-winning drive and stuff like that. It's just like stuff that he's had opportunities before. And you've seen what happened, and we're just supposed to think that it's magically going to change. Yeah,
I like Justin Fields. Obviously, from a personal perspective, seems like a great kid, but he's just not a good quarterback. And I know I hate to be the Packers fan. He's like, I told you so, but
before the season starts, the Steelers have to figure out if they want to even pick up his 5th-year option. And then
that's a really weird situation because they already came out and said that Russell Wilson's the starter.
Which I think is crazy to say.
You have to say it.
You have to say it, but I mean, Justin Fields, he's a good quarterback in the NFL right now. And I think if he goes out there, I just don't see what Russell Wilson has anymore. But you know what I mean with Caleb Williams, you have 5 years of control.
Yeah.
For a good price. And that's how you can build a championship team around somebody with a good contract.
Right.
You see Keenan Allen, they wanted Keenan Allen to restructure in Los Angeles, and he said no.
Well, yeah, they were in absolute cap hell there.
Yeah,
they were the worst.
They had to pay Herbert.
Yep, exactly. And you see it with everybody. Everybody's quarterback when they get look what's happening in Buffalo. Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week. I mean, they're getting rid of everything there.
Yeah, the Bears kind of benefit from that with Ryan Bates.
Yeah, 100%. Whether
they couldn't bring him back,
whether it works, and obviously you still have the draft to fill. Like I say, I try to remain as objective to this sometimes as a Packers fan, but like they are setting it up to bring in the number 1 overall QB in a good spot. But they still have holes to fill. And I don't necessarily, with the draft, that they're going to be able to fill a couple of those. But, it's also still, I mean, a team that was, 6-7 wins last year. Are they better than last year? 100%. 100% they're better. Adding DeAndre Swift, already better than any running back you had in that running back room last year. Keenan Allen just makes the wide receiver room better. And so you're already better at the 2, probably or at least 2 of the 3 most important positions on the offense. So now you see what other holes you have to fill.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm happy that it happened because not happy that they traded him, but I'm happy that we can move on from this. And Caleb Williams is our quarterback, and that's what's going to happen. So now you know what's going to happen. And I always say Justin Fields just fell into some bad luck. If they had the 5th pick in the draft this year, he's still the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the number 1 pick in a draft with a quarterback like Caleb Williams.
And not even that. I mean, also one of the deepest quarterback drafts we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it shakes down.
It just – and some of these questions of is Caleb Williams going to be a diva? Dude, he's going to have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen in there. He's not. If he is, they're not going to let it happen.
Yeah, that is a big question mark. There's a lot of that kind of stuff.
College football locker room to the NFL.
Yeah, it's going to be a big jump, but I mean, it's like you said, it's a good setup for they kind of need to, right? The Packers took the step they did. The Lions the Lions were as dominant as I think the Vikings are going to be significantly worse next year, but you gotta, keep up with the Joneses, right? And I think the Bears are clearly not the worst team in the division anymore. I think that's
very get to the draft and draft Caleb Williams.
The Vikings have to find a quarterback.
I wish because the Bears are technically on the clock. Can't they just draft them right now?
They could come out and say that they're.
I'm just saying, so they can. They already do the contract and everything before the draft even starts.
Yeah, that happens.
And RG3 with the dumbest tweet of all time that he should Eli Manning the Bears.
I think that would be insanely funny.
I understand that because you're a Packer fan, but dude, you're talking about San Diego and Chicago.
I'd rather live in San Diego.
I understand that, but market-wise, NFL, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's there was reasons behind that, and dude, he's going to a great spot. If you're a number 1 pick, you never fall into a spot like that.
Yeah, you usually end up in a place
you're usually in a really bad team.
Charlotte, North Carolina, or
the Panthers.
Yeah,
that's who should have had the pick.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It'll be interesting though. Like you said, draft coming up next month. it'll be. I'm interested to see if the Bears come out and how early they say that they're going to take.
I really don't. I guess there's no advantage to it, so maybe they're just going to leave it alone.
Unless there's weird stuff going on in the background that they're going to trade back a couple spots and take Drake.
No, I mean after getting rid of Justin Fields, it's Caleb Williams 100%.
But maybe that's just the back channels that they're not going to say until.
I don't think they would really care.
We'll see when they decide. Let's move into some drab news. The Blackhawks, 1944-5, 43 points, and unfortunately, they're not even sucking as bad as they should. They have fallen out of the bottom of the overall NHL points. They are 4 points up on the San Jose Sharks, who are abysmal. But
I think they just beat them the other night.
Yeah, the Sharks are insanely bad. But I mean, playoffs aren't too far away. So really what that means is the end of the season is not that far away.
And I told Boomy, I always say this on here, Ice Hogs
making a run.
They're making a run. They're having a good end of the season. I don't know how long it has left. But hey, the Ice Hogs would be interesting to watch.
I got it right here. They have been playing much better lately. They had a really tough start to the season. I say really tough. Just maybe not what you'd expect from the worst team in the NHL's minor league team, right? You would expect their minor league team to be better, and they just were not. They are 28-22, 63 points. I don't know how they decide who makes the playoffs. I'm going to have to do a little more research on this. They're technically in third place in the division. They're only 6 points. No one's catching Milwaukee. They have 77 points. It might be able to catch Grand Rapids, but trying to think. Their divisions are one division has 8, one division has 7, another has 7, and another has 10. That's a weird league.
It is the AHL, so well. I mean, the Wolves don't even have an affiliation with any team.
I thought they did.
I thought they did not. So I saw the Ice Hawks play the Wolves.
That's interesting. You're probably right. You've seen them more recently than I have. Yeah, they're independent. That is very weird.
Yeah, it makes
usually
no sense.
teams in the AHL have some sort of.
Yeah, so
that
don't make much sense.
True. It does not. It kind of explains things, though. They're not very good. Yeah, they're awful, actually. They're 21-30, 48 points. They're way out of it. So, yeah, Ice Hogs looking good. Blackhawks stink.
Go Ice Hogs.
Yeah, go Ice Hogs. The Bulls. I'm going to start off with this Bulls talk, Zach. I'm done having the long-term debates with people about the Bulls. I am just resigned to the fact I just enjoy watching the Bulls. That game,
this time of
Monday
year, you
night.
always have to get in that mode because what else are you going to do? Just sit around and complain about it? I mean, you're going to be in a play-in tournament. It's going to be somewhat exciting, I guess.
They're going to be the 9 seed. That's pretty much their
they've been very hard to move up for probably the last month or so.
Yeah, exactly. And man, like just in the last week in Indiana last week, and then on Monday against the Trailblazers. I mean, they're just fun games to watch. And
I like to make them fun.
I don't know if there's any just like coincidence or whatever, but like they just seem to be more fun to watch when Zach LaVine's not playing. I know it's awful, but
it's fun to watch a team compete. They're playing well enough to contend with some of the good teams.
That's the thing. I don't feel confident in them beating anybody in a 4-game series, but also like I could also make an argument that you could. They're definitely not good enough to beat like Boston or one of the top tier teams. You know what I'm saying? But like
I just don't see them beating any team in the NBA 4 games out of 7.
Yeah, but you know what, man? They're through. I think they play tomorrow night. They'll be their 70th game, so there's only 13 games left. I'm just going to enjoy it. I've watched entirely too much Bulls basketball this year. I'm just going to enjoy it. They're 20 and a half games out.
mean, the NBA playoffs take 3 months.
Exactly. So I'm going to enjoy it while we have it. Moving into a little more positive news before we end on more negative news. We should have flip-flopped these here, Zach. We should have put the Sox first, then finished with the Cubs. Cubs 15-8, probably going to move to 15-9. They're getting beat right now. But it was announced Justin Steele, opening day starter, first lefty since John Lester. I like this, man. The kid had an incredible year last year. Go out there, you're going to be the ace this year. You're going to face every team's best pitcher for the most part. Go out and prove it again. Everybody said 1 year, okay. How many guys are in a conversation for Cy Young 1 year and then completely fall off? It does happen, and especially with younger guys. So Justin Steele, go out and prove that this isn't a 1 year thing. I love it. I love the move.
Yeah, look at the contract last year's Cy Young got. It's like,
yeah,
it's a lot of prove it, and they want you to keep proving it.
Yep.
So, I mean, Justin Steele is also just like an awesome guy.
Yep.
But the Cubs, they're in a way different spot than they were last year. Last year was fun to win, but they weren't expected to win. This year, they're expected to win.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited.
I think it's realistic to say that this team should compete for the division. I think it's unreal. I don't want to say unrealistic. Like, I still don't think this team is a World Series contender, or even
you get in when you win the division, you get in, and the confidence is there.
Exactly. But this team should be if this team falls off a cliff and is not being able to compete, then we've got big issues. It does appear that Drew Smiley will probably break camp in the starting rotation because of Caleb Killian's injury, which I don't mind. If Drew Smiley is your fifth starter, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If Drew Smiley was the second or third starter, we've had big issues. But
yeah, I'm excited for this pitching rotation to see how they do.
Yeah, Shota looks awesome, dude.
And I'm excited to see if Cody Bellinger can really build off of last year.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited to see this team out there. I mean, that top of the lineup is going to be fun to watch, right?
Jordan Montgomery's still out there.
Yeah, that crossed my mind when Blake Snell got signed. So
even though a week from Thursday is opening day, which is just wild.
Whatever. He's a professional. I'm sure he's been tossing the ball around.
He's also a pitcher. It's not like he needs to really be with the team, but
exactly. Wouldn't hate that, especially on a little 2-year deal, 3-year deal. Maybe I could live
hear
with
that though. A week from Thursday, opening day, and then the next day, the dumbest off day of all time.
Yes, that is very true. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm getting excited. Seiya's looked pretty decent in the spring.
Been a lot of talk about him being like a contender for, like, I'm not saying MVP, but they're saying he could have a really good year.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't hate that.
He's also
Bellinger, yeah, he is a beefy boy. I like seeing it. He is fun to watch.
Gotta stay healthy.
And it'll be really interesting. Like, we talked about it a little bit more in depth last week about, like the Bush, if he's going to, end up breaking with the team and where different guys slot and, just kind of.
I think it's good for Pete Crow Armstrong to start in the AAA and
he looked awful.
Play every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Play every day. He's not going to play every day in the major leagues because of you signing Cody Bellinger and stuff like that. And he needs to work on some stuff, unfortunately.
Yep, exactly. I'm very curious to see if Brennan Davis this is going to be his last shot.
Yeah. Hopefully he can stay healthy too.
Yeah, I mean, and actually it's funny. Well, before we get to the White Sox, I'll bring this up. I actually watched a TikTok the other day on Howard, the kid that they had drafted out of Mount Carmel.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what is it Ed Howard?
Yeah, Ed Howard.
Ed Howard. This is kind of a make it or break it year for him. I mean, and the worst thing is, I don't remember if you remember that he broke his hip 2 or 3 years ago. And last year he was awful. And so a lot of people are saying that this is the make or break it year for him because coming off of a broken hip is something big, and he has just been struggling mightily.
I also think Matt Shaw is gonna be at third base this year.
Yep, I think so too. So it'll be very interesting to see. Miguel Amaya probably going to break camp as the starting catcher. I
I would
like
love
that.
to have a full season for Amaya.
Yes, kind of a similar situation. Like we've been talking about this kid forever. Like let's see what he's
I'm
got.
happy he gets to learn under Jan Gomes.
Exactly. Almost having like another coach on the staff. Canario's had a good spring as well.
Yeah, but hey, Cubs, if you bring him up, play him.
Yep, 100%.
That was insane last year.
Yes.
That made no sense.
Yeah. It's like they called him up and then we like never ever saw him.
I think I could be wrong, but I feel like Craig Counsell's the coach. That doesn't happen.
I hope you're right. I think you're right, but I really hope you're right.
Maybe I'm just saying that because he's my coach now, but I'm just thinking that he would not let something like that happen.
I agree. I'm excited for that. One thing I'm finding really hard to get excited about is the White Sox because they just traded their best player. Dylan Cease sent to San Diego, and I don't know what the exact – it didn't feel like the return was that great.
No, but it's also one of those things you were going to trade him at some point. And maybe the White Sox did the same thing like the Bears kind of did. They were like, okay, we're gonna trade you before the season so you don't have to change everything in the middle of the season and stuff like that. But if you're a White Sox fan, you're just like, that's one of three of our only good players just got traded.
They did say that Garrett Crochet will make his major league debut as well as being the opening day starter next week.
That's a wild thing.
That is crazy.
It's gonna be like our first time a guy making his major league debut.
It is the 9th time since 1901, I believe, was the stat that I had seen on Twitter. The last time was 2014. Before that was like 1987. Fernando Valenzuela.
Like he's gonna go in like the 6th inning with a no-hitter or something.
Yeah. Yes. Wouldn't that be sick if you're making your MLB debut and they're like, here, kid.
But if you're the White Sox and you're in the spot where you'd rather have a guy like that pitching an opening day and kind of getting him out there and stuff like that.
Yep, exactly. So they're going to be awful. I had been a little bit more optimistic in previous weeks about them being over their win total after trading Cease. I don't think there's any way that they're going to lose 100 and they're going to lose at least 102 games this year.
Yeah, I think if you take over this, I don't know, was like 60 something is their total?
It was like 62 and a half. There's no way they're getting there.
I don't know.
There's no way. There's no way. And that division's not even good, but holy cow. I mean, there's no chance. And Kopech's been awful in the spring. I mean, I couldn't even name you. Obviously, this is coming from a Cubs fan. I couldn't name you 3 starters on the White Sox at this point anymore.
Tough times.
But you know what's good for tough times, Zach?
Coffee.
Good. Not even just coffee, my friend. Good coffee. The best coffee around that you're going to find comes from our friends over at Connect Roasters Coffee. Best coffee around that you're going to find. Ian Happ drinks it. Guy smashes baseballs and he wins Gold Gloves. What more do you want, people? Work with Dom Frederick, the most energetic guy we've ever met. So you know it's good quality coffee, all right? So make sure you check them out at connectroasters.com and follow them on X at Connect Roasters. Make sure you sign up for the Home Run Club. Get you some discounts, some dinger dollars when the Cubs go yard. And also, if you're in Bourbonnais, make sure you check out the storefront. Get you a good coffee. Teas, too. I love the teas. So make sure you check out our friends over at Connect Roasters Coffee. So if you need some energy to sit and watch college basketball Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, make sure you head over to our friends at Connect Roasters Coffee. We all have to do that, Zach, because the NCAA Tournament has started. It's going on as we're recording this in the first 4. So let's jump into it, man. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through our first round. We'll start on the left side. We'll go all the way down the games. Then we'll go to the right side. We'll hit all the first round games. Then we'll go back to the left side. We're basically covering the first weekend of games, what we like, what we don't like. and we'll do this each week before the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight games, and we'll do it obviously before the Final Four and the title. So let's start in the left corner. Before we go anywhere, Zach, spotlight's on you, buddy. Who's winning the national title?
I have a few different winners here, but
all right, I'll take the heat off.
No. I'll get it.
I'll start. Purdue. I like Purdue. It'd be simply because I'm dumb and they lost to a 16 seed last year. Virginia lost to a 16 seed back in whatever 2018. Then they won the title the next year. Purdue lost to a 16 seed last year. They're going to win the title this year. You heard it here first.
I know this is chalk, but UConn.
Nope, not going to repeat. Haven't seen a repeat winner since 2007. Not going to happen. They are playing really well. So let's start with UConn, Zach. UConn Stetson. Obviously, I think you're going to have UConn winning that, and I don't think it's going to be close. UConn is very good.
I don't see this being one of those games where it's like, oh, no, they're down at halftime. I just think they have a coach that will not allow that.
Yeah, he is a crazy person. I think they roll through that easy. Game 2, love this game. Florida Atlantic and Northwestern, the 8-9. I'm taking Northwestern here because I like Northwestern, an Illinois team. I like Doug. This team's fun. Boo Booey.
You know what? The worst thing about this game, though, is it's one of a few games in this tournament that you cannot bet on.
Yep, that is true. And it's a little weird. It starts at 11:15 in the morning on Friday. So who do you got here?
Northwestern.
Yep. All right. I love it. Moving down the bracket, the number 5 seed San Diego State, Final Four participant last year. They made it to the title game.
Yeah. The title game, no.
Didn't they lose to UConn in the title?
San Diego?
San Diego State.
Maybe they did. I did not think they did.
I'll pull it up here. Yeah, they definitely did.
Which I know. I'm going to go with San Diego State.
Yeah, runner-up, San Diego State.
I just feel like UAB, they just don't have much of a chance against San Diego State.
UAB is another one. I love 5-12 or 12-5 upsets, but I don't think it's going to happen here. San Diego State's been playing much better lately. I like San Diego State here as well. Next game, the number 4 seed Auburn Tigers taking on the Dorks from Yale.
Who don't even deserve to be in this tournament.
How do they not?
Did you see the shot they won on?
Yeah, that was crazy.
The most wide open shot I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I would also I'd rather see Brown in here than Yale.
I feel like we always see Yale or Harvard.
Ugh, yeah. I think Auburn's I'm not a big fan of Auburn. I'm not a big fan of their coach. But
see, I like Bruce Pearl.
I think Auburn is going to win this game pretty easily.
Couple reasons, I think, as well, Zach. Auburn has been playing really well, played incredible in the SEC tournament. And I don't know if you saw the story, Bruce Pearl's dad passed away this year. Kind of look at coaching a little bit differently.
He was like crying at the end of the game.
Yeah, so I think Auburn is going to roll here. Pretty easily as well. Moving down, BYU versus Duquesne, the Dukes. Do you think that the Dukes are going to pull the upset?
Oh, yeah. I think
no chance.
I think they will. Just because they have a cool
90% of America doesn't even know how to pronounce Duquesne right.
I know. I think that's why they're going to move on. But
no, I think that BYU's kind of flown under the radar with moving into the Big 12, and the Big 12 is just an elite conference. It's just going to be a different game for BYU. I think they move on. Another game we can't bet on here, Illinois and Morehead State.
I think Illinois gets through this game pretty easily with the momentum they have.
I don't know if it's going to be as easy as you think.
I just think that momentum from winning the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's a very trendy pick. Illinois is playing really well. Now,
they got tough bracket, though.
Yes, they are. They did get lucky that Purdue got upset in the semifinals because they struggle with Purdue, but they can't take it away from them. They win the Big Ten title. They came from down in a deficit in every game they played. I mean, they found a way to figure it out. But I do think Morehead State had been playing pretty well here as of late. I got to stop saying that because every team has. It's the freaking NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I do think Illinois gets out of that. Moving down, the 7 seed Washington State Cougars and the Drake Bulldogs, the Drake O'Donnell Bulldogs. Can they pull it off?
I like Drake in this game. I think it's these 7-10s. They're fun games.
Drake has been very good the last 2 years. However, I gotta go. There's just something telling me to take Washington State, and I don't know what it is. I've only seen them once this year. Played pretty well. They're a little inconsistent in some parts of the season, but I feel like Drake is going to be a very, very commonly picked upset. So that's why I'm going to go Washington State.
Yeah, these 7-10s it's a kind of a coin toss.
Moving to the 2:15, Iowa State, South Dakota State. Can the Jackrabbits pull off the upset, Zach?
No, Iowa State is playing well.
Yes. Iowa State beat a very, very good Houston team on Sunday.
Yeah,
I think this will be tight. San Diego State. South Dakota State always seems to play teams tough in the tournament. I do think it's going to be closer than whatever the spread might be right now. If it's still over 20, I would take South Dakota State with those points. But yeah, I think Iowa State, like you said, momentum striding into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's hard to take some of these, not take some of these like plus spreads because I mean you think about plus like 30, that's just tough.
Yeah, exactly. Moving down, North Carolina Wagner. We're going to see Wagner, who just pulled off. They were up big and barely held on in the play-in game.
Yeah, I think North Carolina pretty easily.
I kind of think so too. Mississippi State, Michigan State. This might be the game I'm looking forward to the most in this NCAA tournament.
I think Mississippi State.
I don't bet against Tom Izzo in March.
Yeah. March, or is it January, February, Izzo?
Yeah, that's what everybody used to say. They haven't been great lately. I couldn't tell you the last time they've made it to a Final Four.
I think it's going to be one of the best games in the first round.
I completely agree. Here we go, the 5-12 matchup. St. Mary's, the Gales versus the Grand Canyon Antelopes, the Lopes. I got them pulling off the upset. I love Grand Canyon. That guard they have is incredible. Might be one of the best players in the tournament.
St. Mary's played too much late night basketball. They are good this year.
Have you seen Grand Canyon at all?
That's fine. I just think I've seen them play enough to. This is a team that can make a run this year.
There's just something like speaking to me about this team. I got to look the kid's name up. He had an incredible conference tournament. I'm going to have to look this up. We might have to come back to this. But I think this is the first one. This is my big upset that I like here. Grand Canyon, also not that old of a Division I program, has only been a Division I program for a couple of years now. Tyan Grant Foster. 19.8 per game. Check him out if you haven't yet, folks. Do your homework. Moving down, Alabama and Charleston. I hate to say it. I hate Alabama, but I got Alabama here.
Yeah, they're not losing this game. I don't think it's gonna be very tougher than the next one, whoever they play.
Yeah,
but I just don't see them losing to Charleston.
I agree. Clemson and New Mexico, the Tigers
and the Lobos.
Me too. I love New Mexico.
Not a fan of Clemson this year. I don't know.
Been kind of unassuming. I mean, I love New Mexico. I love that conference too. I mean, there's some really good basketball being played out there.
The only reason I want Clemson to make a run is because I want to say it's a basketball school, not a football school. But
fair. Same thing about Alabama. Moving on down, Baylor and Colgate. Colgate is tough in the Patriot League, but Baylor's just too big, too strong.
A giant school.
Yes, and not even that. Like they play in the Big 12. They play in the Big 12. Yeah, they are. They played in the Big 12 all
I
year.
don't know what Colgate's gonna what's they got height wise, but they're not gonna even get close to Baylor.
Yeah, give me the Bears here.
That's just the problem with some of these teams is they're good at shooting threes, but when you want to go down low, how are you going to do that?
Well, not even that. Think about it this way, Zach. If right, a lot of these mid-low major teams are used to playing in gyms that are essentially glorified high school gyms, and now you're going to go play in a big arena and just change the way you shoot overnight.
Some of these are like you're going to play where like NBA stadium and where NBA teams play.
Exactly. Moving down to the 7-10 game, Dayton and Nevada. Keep feeding me these West Coast teams. Give me the Wolfpack here.
Yeah, I like them too.
All right, we're on the same page. As much as it pains me, I wish I could find it in my heart to take Long Beach State after the coach got fired. No, Arizona's a wagon, man. I like Arizona.
I know, but this story, how cool would it be to make a little bit of a run? You just got fired.
That story is insane. That athletic director needs to be fired because I know it wasn't a great regular season, but clearly the guy knows how to be a leader of men. Yeah. He proved that.
What do you do? Can you rehire him?
If I was him, I don't know if I'd go back.
Well, true.
I'd tell him to shove it. All right, moving to the top right of the bracket, Houston and Longwood. There's just
great name, no but they're going down. Houston's going to win.
All right. I know I say this for all the 8-9, but this matchup's really fun. Nebraska's been playing really well. Give me the Huskers over Texas A&M. So my only worry here is Buzz Williams is a better coach than Fred Hoiberg.
Well, yeah, the mayor. But yeah, I would love for Nebraska to win this game.
Texas A&M is weird.
Yeah, it's a weird school.
It's just a weird school. Yeah, it's a culty, weird school. Wisconsin, James Madison, the Pardon My Take battle. Wisconsin played insanely well in the Big Ten tournament.
Good. James Madison is good.
They are. You taking the Dukes?
I'm taking James Madison.
Give me the Badgers. I'll show a little Big Ten loyalty here. Moving down, Duke and Vermont. I like Vermont. They're always in the tournament, but Duke's
just. I think they got a seeding that they wanted to because they lost. I think they lost first game of the ACC tournament. And
their first
seeding and not the hardest way to a Final Four, Elite Eight. So I think Duke unfortunately is in a good spot.
I agree. I'll be honest, a game I'm not. If there's another important game going on, I may not have this one on the main TV. Texas Tech, NC State, except for I do love the big man from NC State.
Oh, I love NC State. NC State's going to win this game.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Here's my only worry, Zach, to play devil's advocate. Texas Tech had an average season for a team in the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, they had an average season in the best conference in America. Well, so I could see Texas Tech winning this game, but the way that NC State played to win the ACC tournament, that momentum means something. They're going to keep it going. They're going to take down the Red Raiders. Mm-hmm. Moving down, Kentucky and Oakland, the 3-14 matchup. People don't like it, but Calipari wins in March. Okay, he's not losing to Oakland.
I think Kentucky can make a little bit of a run here.
I think so too.
They're set up in a good spot.
Moving down, my Florida Gators, unfortunately, without the 7-footer. I don't know if everybody's seen that video, but Florida's first 7-footer since 1987 snapped his leg in half, Kevin Ware style, through the skin. So, but my Gators are going to roll. I still like the way
they get through this game, and then unfortunately,
nope, they're not losing to Marquette. They're not
Marquette's
losing to Marquette. Marquette is overrated. They play in a horrible conference.
Dude, that point guard is good.
The Big East stinks. He's good because he plays bums in the Big East.
Whatever. Say what you want.
Marquette might not even make it through Western Kentucky. Just kidding. I can't even say that with a straight face. Marquette's going to roll Western Kentucky.
Isn't Florida in the SEC?
Yeah. who's a lot better than the Big East.
A lot better, but I wouldn't say they're this great conference.
It's probably the third best conference in the country.
Maybe fourth.
No, whoa.
I bet you Big East has been up there before. They're just having an off year.
Yeah, historically, but this year the Big East stinks.
I think Marquette, dude. Marquette is good. I've seen him. That point guard he's got some balls on him too. He is good.
I didn't know that's where you were going with it. All right.
He's crazy. He talks shit to everybody.
I do like that. I respect that. Purdue, there's no way Purdue's losing to a 16 seed 2 years in a row, right?
I don't see any. I know. I guess you can never know, but I feel like all these number one teams are going to kind of roll.
I agree.
Should.
Moving down, another good 8-9 matchup, Utah State and TCU. Give me the Horned Frogs, baby.
I like Utah State here.
I like Utah State. TCU just plays in a better conference. They're just bigger, faster, stronger. They've had a better opportunity to prepare for a game like this. I like TCU here. Moving down, the 5-12 matchup, Gonzaga and McNeese State. Gonzaga kind of an unassuming.
Gonzaga is going to make a run when you least expect it.
Gonzaga is going to lose in the first round to Will Wade and the Cowboys of McNeese State out of Louisiana. Yes, they are. McNeese State's got 3 losses on the year. They're coached by Will Wade.
Can we just talk about conferences and what conference you played in? What conference is McNeese State in?
The Southland Conference.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why they have 2 losses.
3 losses.
3.
And they're not picking up number 4.
Gonzaga's going to win this game. I'm not saying they're going to go far, but I do think they're going to win this game. The 5 seed, that's crazy. That's got to be the lowest they've had in years.
It's been a long time since they've been that low. Continuing to move down, Kansas and Samford.
I think Kansas is going to win this game, but I don't have much confidence in them this year in this tournament. Kansas
is out. This is another crazy upset, but Samford has been playing insanely well. Bucky ball going on at Samford. Give me the Bulldogs. You're a former Bulldog, Zach. You should be supporting other Bulldogs. You hate Yale. You don't pick Samford.
I just don't see Kansas losing to Samford.
Most people probably saw that and were like, Stanford is a 13 seed? Yeah. Oh, there's another school called Samford? Like the TV show Samford and Sons? Continuing to move down the bracket, South Carolina and Oregon. I'll already say it. Give me the Ducks. The Ducks were rolling, got to the Pac, won the Pac-12.
They were fun to watch.
South Carolina, I mean, they're okay.
I bet on them. Well, I bet against them when they played Colorado.
I had the first half over, and it did not hit. So, who do you got? You got the Ducks here?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's keep them rolling. Creighton and Akron. I would love the Maction, diehard. I wore a Mac is War shirt to school today. I wish I could take the Zips, but Yep, exactly. I'm going with the Blue Jays here.
Akron has no business being in this tournament either. How they won that game was unreal.
The problem is like, the foul at the end.
Yeah,
that's
the
right.
Foul at the end. They literally should not. I mean, I'm not even joking. They should not be in this game.
That was one of the.
They got fouled.
Worst.
They got fouled. They were losing by 1, and they got intentionally fouled because the player got, I don't know, the score mixed up or what, and made both baskets and won.
Yep, that was brutal.
See, that's where Cinderella's stories start, though.
That was brutal.
Brutal.
We're almost done with the first round here, folks. Texas, and it is just final. They will play Colorado State. You taking the Horns, or do you like the Rams, Zach?
I take Texas. It's so tough to get to play this game tonight and then go and play this game. Then on would be Friday they play or Thursday? Thursday.
They play Thursday. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty. I know. I think it's a disadvantage having to play this first playing game.
Yeah, but we always get some team that makes a run out of it, though.
True. I think it's gonna be Colorado. They
I
played
would be a
tomorrow night.
huge fraud if I did not take the Colorado State Rams. Me and Maddie have been Colorado State Rams guys for about the last 2 or 3 years. So give me the Rams here over the Longhorns. And then the last game of the first round, Tennessee and the
St. Peter's
Peacocks.
again. St.
You got
Peter's.
the Peacocks?
No, I got Tennessee, but I'm
All
just
right,
saying
good.
St. Peter's made that run. But
All right.
I mean, I'd love to see it. It'd be cooler, but I mean, Tennessee is so good and so big.
So good. So good. It pains me to say as a Florida fan, but they are so
They
good.
play, like you said, it's just a good conference.
Exactly. All right, we'll go back to the left side. We'll run down our round of 32 to get us through the weekend here. So mine, I have UConn and Northwestern. I have UConn moving on. Who do you got, Zach?
I got UConn moving on against Northwestern.
All righty. We both have San Diego State and Auburn.
Yes, and I take San Diego State.
I got Auburn. I love what this Bruce Pearl team they're doing right now. They're on a run. I'll take the Tigers. You have Duquesne in Illinois. I have BYU in Illinois. Do you have Illinois getting to the second weekend,
Yeah,
Zach?
I think Illinois is rolling right now. I think they're gonna have a lot of trouble. I know I'm going to kind of give away my next one against Iowa State.
Yeah,
but I think that Illinois is rolling.
I agree. I have Illinois moving on as well.
They had a chance to go far, but I think winning that Big Ten was huge.
It was. They're picking up huge momentum right now. I have obviously Washington State and not Drake instead of you, but I think either way, I think Iowa State wins this game.
Yeah, I just see Iowa State. They're so good, and again, you play a good conference like that. You're ready for games like this.
And you won that tournament. I mean, you won the conference tournament of the best conference in America.
Drake or Washington State being able to compete with their size.
Yeah, I agree. Moving down, I have North Carolina and Michigan State. Zach has North Carolina and Mississippi State. I've got North Carolina moving on. Who do you got?
Yeah, I don't want to be chalk, but North Carolina, they're playing so well. And Mississippi State, Michigan State doesn't matter. Neither team has a chance.
Moving down a little bit, Zach has St. Mary's in Alabama. I have Grand Canyon in Alabama. Who do you got here, Zach?
I think St. Mary's wins. I think St. Mary's has really got a good team this year.
I'm going to go from that same first game, but I got the Antelopes pulling another upset, and the Grand Canyon University Lopes are going to the Sweet 16.
As long as it's not Alabama, I'll be fine.
We could live with that. Moving down, we both have New Mexico and Baylor. Do you think New Mexico is going to be able to pull off the upset against that size of Baylor?
No, Baylor's just too big. They're going to get upset maybe in the Sweet 16 Elite 8, but I just think that size is going to get them to the second weekend.
I'm going to disagree with you. Patino and the Lobos take down Baylor. It's going to be a huge task. I think that I know I say a lot and I kiss a lot of ground that the Big 12 walks on, but somehow, some way, Patino and the Lobos figure it out and head to the Sweet 16 to face Arizona. That's who I got beating. I've got them beating Nevada in that.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. So I don't know why. Something just tells me that New Mexico's going on a run here. Let's move to the top right. Houston and Nebraska. Nebraska's been playing really well lately. Can they take down the Cougs?
I just don't think so. I don't think the size is just going to be bad for them. Nebraska.
They need that Tominaga kid to hit like 15 threes, I think, if they're going to win this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what Nebraska relies on. And a game against Houston, that may not work.
Moving down, Wisconsin and Duke. Did you take James Madison?
Yeah, I did.
Who do you got coming out of that?
Duke.
Yeah, same. I got Duke.
They're in a spot where they also kind of have an easier way to the second weekend.
I agree.
I just think that they're set up perfectly.
Agreed. Moving down, we both have NC State and Kentucky. Do you think NC State keeps that magical run going?
No, I think Kentucky is going to move on from there.
I got NC State. I think there's just something magical about this team winning the ACC tournament, going through the gauntlet that they did. I love Calipari.
They play every day, right?
Yeah, 5 games in a row. So keep it going. Kentucky got real complacent there in the SEC tournament. They got to flip that switch quick. At the bottom of that, what is that? The South bracket, Florida and Marquette. Now, I'm going to have 2 brackets. I have one bracket that I call my upset bracket. I have Florida beating Illinois in the national title. It's not the one I submit into my groups for money. This is my more realistic one. I know I went on a rant about the Big East, but Marquette will probably beat Florida. I do have Marquette advancing. Yeah, losing that 7-footer is huge.
Huge.
I mean, you can play the whole.
A little bit of a run, but that's tough to make up.
Yeah. Yep. Moving down, you have Utah State. I have TCU versus Purdue. Will either of those teams beat Purdue?
No, just no chance of stopping Edie.
I agree. Purdue's on a mission here. I have the craziest 12-13 matchup in McNeese State and Samford. I've got McNeese State for the first time in school history going to the Sweet 16. Will Wade banished from the NCAA for being a rampant cheater. Now he's back in the Sweet 16. The Cowboys moving on.
I'm going to go Kansas.
You got Kansas over Gonzaga. All right. I'm just a wild thinker out here.
No fun for me.
Far bottom right, we got 2 left. Oregon and Creighton. Do the Ducks continue the magical run against the Blue Jays, Zach?
No, I think Creighton is so well coached and they're just so good.
I agree. I got Creighton here. I don't know. There's something about McDermott that I like, and this team's played really well
at every position.
Yep, they're too tough, and when they shoot the ball well, man, is it hard to guard. Last one at the bottom, you have Texas, Tennessee. I have Colorado State, Tennessee. Do either of us have Tennessee losing here?
I do not.
I do not either. Tennessee's just
they're also very. Their size is going to get them to the second weekend.
Yep, exactly. Well, Zach, before we go forward, who do you got winning it all right now?
I got UConn.
UConn. I got Purdue. So let us know who you guys have. Before we move on, we do have a bracket challenge. We've posted it on Facebook. I don't know if it's on Twitter yet or not.
Not on Twitter yet.
It will be on Twitter, but it's on Facebook. It's on mine and Zach's Facebook pages. So we got a pretty decent group. We're up to 18 right now, $20 an entry. You can do 2 entries. Third place gets their money back. Second place gets double their money that they put in. And then the first place takes all. It's all done on ESPN. So if you want in, make sure you check out that link, join in. You can read the instructions to enter and all that
too, because you know right away after every single game, you know your points, you know where you're in the standings,
how many points there are possibly left for you to get. It's the best. So
I think it's the best app there is for brackets.
I agree. So if you want in, let us know. We'll get you taken care of. But before we get to the top 3, we have our media recommendations this week. Don't get me wrong, guys. You're going to be watching nothing but basketball from Thursday morning to Sunday night. But maybe you need to kill a little time before the first game starts in the morning, especially Saturday, Sunday. Less games, a little bit more time before the first game. You know, maybe a bad blowout game. You need something else. What are you recommending that these folks check out as far as movies, TV shows, podcasts, YouTube series, whatever you got, Zach? What do you got for the people?
So you'll like this. It's called The Third Time's the Charm, and it is a podcast with Trill Withers and Coley Mick. And from the back in the day of it's actually this sweatshirt right here. I think it's from that.
Yep, I've got the Hornets hoodie I wear all the time is from them.
They're doing a new podcast together. Literally only 2 episodes in. They're hilarious. You can go on YouTube and find them. It's called Third Time's the Charm because it's the third show that these guys have done together.
Yep.
So they're hoping Third Time's the Charm. And Coley Mick, True Withers, they're hilarious. I'm so happy this podcast is out. I used to love Mixtape. It was awesome. It's not as long. They're like about hour 45 to 2 hours.
That was going to be my next question.
They're pretty long, but they're not as long as Mixtape was.
All right.
But it's just
even better.
Those two guys sitting down talking, and it's the best.
Even better. I just have a show and a movie on Amazon Prime. Everybody's got Amazon Prime. The show is a show that's been out for a while, but I'm just getting to it. If you like any of the superhero stuff, the Marvel stuff, there's a show called The Boys, which is like a more adult, real world show about superheroes. I believe they're on like season 5, but I'm getting through season 1 right now. Won a couple Emmys. Check out The Boys. Really cool, interesting stuff. I'm not even the biggest superhero movie guy. I've seen a bunch of the Marvel stuff, but this show is really good. The Boys. And then a movie that I have just started, haven't even got quite through, but I can tell from all the trailers I've watched and all the clips I've watched, Ricky Stenicki is the big one out on Amazon Prime. It's John Cena, Andrew Santino. You're going to like this movie. It's just a dumb comedy. So check those two out on Prime Video. Zach, let's wrap things up. We got the TCF top 3, but we're going to do something completely different. It's not going to be our normal top 3. We are going to snake draft, but here's how this is going to work, guys. This is called the upset draft. Okay. We're going to draft seeds 9 through 16. We're going to go back and forth. Each time, so you get all 4 teams of that seed. Okay, so you get all 4 9 seeds. You get all 4 10 seeds. Every time that team wins a game in the NCAA tournament, you get points for what that team's seed is. So if a 16 seed wins, against a 1 seed, you get 16 points. But if a 9 seed wins, you only get 9 points. Do you understand, Zach?
Yeah.
I will keep track of who has what. And I'm going to do a random wheel to decide who wins this, because the loser has to buy the winner dinner.
Okay.
Deal?
Whoever loses the game?
Yep. So we'll do it the whole NCAA tournament. The person with the most amount of points is the winner.
Okay.
All right. I got my computer here. So you can't accuse me of cheating. You ready?
Yes. Am I blue?
You're red.
Got it.
The winner is that what it says? You won. Do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
First.
All right. So I get the wraparound. All right. Hang on just a second here.
So I'm just picking the seed, right?
Yes. So like if you want the 9, the 8, or you can't take the 8, 9 through 16.
Yes, I'm going to go 9.
All right. I am going to go. I'm going to go with the 12 or the 10 and 12.
Okay.
So now you get 2.
I'm going to go 11.
Okay.
I'll go 14.
14. Okay, I got 2 here. So then I'll make it simple. I'll go 13, 15, and then you get the 16.
Okay.
So whoever wins, so Zach has 9, 11, 14, 16. I have 10, 12, 13, 15. Right? Okay, so the way this is going to work, I got them all typed up here. If it's basically going to go with which seeds, if 2 of them can win, a game or 2, you're going to get a lot of points. So we'll track this. We'll see where we're at next week. Obviously, it'd be different it'd be hard if we had Maddie here, because we would have an odd number of picks. I just kind of made this up on the spot when I was typing up show notes, but I think this might be a fun way to cheer for those. We're going to both be cheering for all 10 seeds and 12 seeds.
The 9 seeds.
Exactly. So should be a fun little game we're going to play for the next 3 weeks.
That's what March Madness should be. It's just a bunch of if you don't know how to you never really watch basketball, just do a bracket. It's just for fun.
Or go get a square.
Yeah.
Go get a square. I mean, I've got mine is going to be 5 and 5, higher seed and lower seed. I like that a lot. I like my square. But this is episode 222. We really thank you guys for joining in. I know it's a little bit of a longer one, but that's how much we love the NCAA tournament.
Thursday around probably 9 o'clock is when you'd want to get your brackets in.
Yep. Like we said, on Facebook, just type in Typical Chicago Fan, give that page a like. It's going to be the first thing we've posted up there recently. So you can jump in, join on ESPN. It has the instructions on how to enter your money in.
They don't make it hard. It's pretty easy.
It's very easy. So if you want to get in on that, let us know. You can find us on X at typical_Chicago. We'll have that the link to the bracket up there as well. Instagram, give that page a like. For all of our content on video form, it's on YouTube. Type in Typical Chicago Fans, hit that red subscribe button. I promise I've been a little sick, under the weather, but I will be getting those food reviews that we recorded a little while ago. Those will be coming up here soon. Wherever you get your podcast, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review 5 stars wherever you can. You can find me on X at BoomyTCF, and of course Zach at ZLiliaTCF. I know he couldn't be here tonight, but make sure you follow Maddie as well at schools_.
Hopefully next week we'll have a full healthy squad.
Full barn next week. That's the hope. So everybody stay safe out there. Stay healthy. It's tough out there right now. So take care of yourself. Just sit at home and watch basketball from Thursday to Sunday. Hard to get sick when you're just sitting on your couch. So, but thank you for joining us. Episode 222 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.